In Newcastle, just seen Josh Kelly glide past Gabriel Corzo.
That's glide. It was more of a,
That's how I wrote the article, actually.
going up and down, sort of,
I know, it could mean like smooth sailing.
5 different types of fights in one.
Yeah, it was a weird one. How do you sum up the performance?
I like glide.
I like glide.
You felt like it was a glide. It wasn't a glide for me. No, it was looking. It was lots of different Josh Kellys in there tonight. You saw one on the back foot, one on the front foot, one in the centre of the ring. All different sorts, because we had an opponent in there tonight who was very, very awkward, tough, and at times dirty.
Yeah,
and at times very, very dirty, and at times fucking extremely dirty. So we had a bit of everything.
So at this stage, was this 4 fights together now with Josh? Yeah, 4 fights, 3 or 4, something like that. Anyway, yeah, me too.
My girlfriend.
I wish I could say the same. How are you happy with his progression to this point? Where are you?
I think, like I said before the fight, I think we have to. I see this as the first fight, because I think last year was a chapter. It was a chapter clearing out the cobwebs. It was a chapter putting things down people's throats. It was for him to close that chapter, that domestic chapter. And I think tonight, fought the number 9 in the world. He's now number 2. I think that is the start of, a little bit of a different journey.
You look confident.
Yeah, I mean, he looked confident also. Again, if you look at his mindset also when he boxed against Troy in December, I think, you see that's adapted. I think tonight, clearly the opponent had really done their homework, and they'd done homework on the Troy fight, and saw, it's not a great idea just to come at him, because he'll sit back on those ropes and just poach you like a sharpshooter. So he sat back and didn't throw a punch till Josh threw a punch for the first 6 rounds. So Josh then I think took a couple of rounds to get for him to work out a way of getting him out that corner and luring him into actually throwing a punch. And when he threw the punch, he was very successful on the counters. Then the fight switched to sort of middle of the ring. There, Josh, I thought, had a lot of success, but it was also, it started to get very messy. And then at the end of the fight, the other guy, the body shot sort of wore him down, and he started backing off onto the ropes, and that allowed Josh to come in very nicely at the end. And, he did, listen, he very, very sharp, very, very sharp, which he always has been. It's just about that state that he seems to get himself into a ring now. He's like, he's really enjoying it.
He criticised his own performance after the in the design.
Yeah, it was quite difficult. I was standing next to him, but I couldn't really hear what he was saying. It was very, the acoustics weren't great. But yeah, he's that. When I got in the ring, he didn't look happy at all, and I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he was just, but that's a little bit Adam as well. They both that sort of mindset to step it up, and that's cool. If they're unhappy, I'm happy.
You said about you said he's got pay-per-view star potential. He was talking about a fight with Conor Benn. Obviously, that would be a big pay-per-view fight. Obviously, we're going to talk about what's next.
Funny enough when you say that, but neither have ever fought in a pay-per-view fight before.
Yeah, they haven't really, have they?
Pay-per-view star is. I call it that because that means they have the ability to be. Yeah, but I think you saw. I think Joshua's last fight wasn't pay-per-view, was it? So I think I think what we've come to understand is that there is no. It's different to Canelo in the States and Latino America. He can box pretty much anything he wants and it'll be pay-per-view. Whereas I think here people now they expect top fights. And I remember doing Froch Kessler 2 or Kessler Froch 2. Yeah, Kessler Froch 2, Carl, not Froch Kessler. And at the time, Froch, it was a decent name, but we put it on sale. I remember, and we were doing the ticket price. We're like, this is really going to sell out the O2. Boom, they were gone before the press conference started, and it did very well on pay-per-view because the fight was the right one. And I think that people forget that, and I think that whether it's throw up names: Kelly Benn, Kelly Brook, Kelly Eubank. You know, these are all fights that people will so get into, and when they come out and say, "What was that?" and then wait to the press conference, and then it all kicks off, and you know, the promo around it's of course important, but it's when you've got those two domestic names in the UK, especially at top level, it always comes up with something special, and that goes back to, you know, when I started watching boxing in the UK in the 90s, you know. Again with Eubanks and Benns. And
again and again, yeah. So WBO, you got Charlo, who's still got a belt, but he's fighting Canelo, so he'll probably lose that. You said the Kazakh guy, he's moving away the other day.
Yeah,
he's moving, go down.
He's supposed to be going to the IBF.
Okay.
But that's, I don't know if that's confirmed yet or not. But
No, yeah, you're just talking about
it. But everyone is saying that it's confirmed. So for me, when I look at the world title situation, the name out there that everyone seems to like is Tszyu.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah, and so do I. But at the end, when we might end up fighting for a vacant title, we might end up fighting for IBF. We might suddenly be in an IBF position. We'll go up all the rankings. At the end of the day, we'd love a Tszyu fight.
Yeah. So that's sort of like what jumped out at me, him versus Tszyu for a vacant title.
It's a big name, but at the same time, I think the IBF situation could become interesting for us as well.
Okay.
But it's also a little bit like it's got to fit into the autumn for us. You know?
Okay.
We're not ready to go, unfortunately, next month. So
we'll wait and see on that one. Okay, final question. It's slightly related to Edinburgh next week. It's about Briedis. I've got to ask you about him before I go. Yeah, he was meant to be coming to Edinburgh. He's not. What's happened to Briedis, Kalle?
Yeah, look, you know,
It's been a weird one.
Yeah, he had a bit of a setback in camp, and the point with Edinburgh was to get him out.
Yeah. I wasn't annoyed about that, by the way. It was more what's happened, you know.
But he called me up and said, "Look, is it all right if we just do the big one that we're planning?"
What's the big one?
Yeah, there's a few things lurking.
There can't be more than one.
Well, there's two different ones actually.
Okay.
They're both on the table. And
okay.
One is at cruiserweight, and there is an interesting opportunity. I was going to say elsewhere. Let's leave it at that.
What, a Bridgerweight, yeah? Rosansky?
No, I don't do Bridgerweights.
No?
Well, I'll probably end up doing Bridgerweight. So you've got that as a soundbite you can use in the times when I'm running sound. Bridgerweight World Championship, what a fucking great title. Amazing, you'll pull up the clips.
Rosansky's fun, though.
Bridgerweight.
Rosansky's quite fun, though.
Yeah, but no.
But it's not happening.
Something
no.
bigger.
So Opetaia rematch? What happened with that, by the way? There was meant to be a rematch and the broken jaw. Can that happen?
Yeah, I mean, Opetaia rematch would be interesting, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He's just signed with Matchroom, hasn't he?
Yeah, but weren't they originally... Didn't you originally have a rematch clause in the deal?
No, because it was a mandatory.
Okay, my mistake. Okay,
No, that's not a mistake, because I always put rematch clauses in. You're right, I missed a rematch clause. I missed the option, I missed the rematch clause. Yeah. In fact, you fight one of my fighters and I will own you. Right? Joke. That was a pun. But yes,
the headline.
I am quite famous in the business for putting a few rematch clauses in there. Like
But yeah, so is Opetaia not entitled to rematch Briedis now he's back?
He could apply for a voluntary, probably, but I think they've ordered now the React-Paul fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll watch that situation. He does want Opetaia again.
Yeah. So finally, has he still got it? Is he still the Briedis we saw all those great nights in Riga?
Ever. He calls me 50 times a day. He's in love with the sport, and he's such a nice, lovable guy as well. But he is mad about the sport. He loves it. You know, he loves it. He comes to so many shows. He loves the Misfit stuff as well as we all know.
Seen him a lot.
As we all know. So yeah, maybe after his career we'll see him involved in Misfits as a trainer or presenter or something like that.
Yeah, it's weird. He changed my life. That guy. I've never really got to know him. So
He's
crazy.
Top boy. Great to spend time with.
Kalle, thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.